With Massachusetts restaurants banned from allowing diners to eat inside their establishments since the governor's order on March 15th, we thought we'd check in with local owners to see how they're doing with special Zoom editions of Back of the House. Harry Cheema, franchise owner of Mr. Max in Westford, Tingsboro, and Portsmouth, New Hampshire, grew up working in his family's Indian restaurant. After owning his own restaurant in college, Harry stepped away from the food industry for about a decade before investing in the Mr. Mac franchise. Mr. Max in Westford opened this past December. Let's see how they're doing. Hi, welcome to Back of the House, the Zoom edition. I'm Patty Stalker with WestfordCAT, and I'm really happy today to have with us Harry Cheema, and he is the franchise owner of Mr. Max, which recently opened in Westford, and he is also the franchise owner of Mr. Max in Tingsboro and in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. Hi, Harry. How are you?
Good morning, Patty. How are you?
I'm doing good, trying to adjust to the work from home thing. I'm actually putting in more hours now that I'm working from home. So let's talk a little bit about Mr. Max.
Well,
how are you guys doing during this shutdown? I know it's been tough on restaurants.
We're still open. We're open for takeout and delivery. But we've been, to be honest, very fortunate. We've always had a great following and a great support from towns. Especially in Westford when we first opened in December, and that support thankfully has continued. And so all the Mr. Max locations, there are 4 of them, and I own 3 as a franchise owner, and then the franchisors own the one in Manchester. And we're all still open. We're all doing okay. Fortunately, with the support, I haven't had to lay off any employees or furlough anyone. So in the Westford location, I have 28 employees, and we're still rocking. So, and I have to thank the community for that support.
That's terrific, Harry. Good for you for being able to keep all these people on board during this tough time. A lot of people are scared, and I applaud you for working it out with your employees. So let's talk a little bit about your menu. And I was first introduced to you guys in Tingsboro. I was happy to see you open. You are located where, what used to be there?
D'Angelo's. We're right across the street from Whole Foods, 175 Littleton Road.
So let's talk a little bit about your menu.
So we only serve macaroni and cheese. There are a few macaroni pastas or salads and green garden salads and such, but our bread and butter is macaroni and cheese. So we have 19 different varieties on our menu. Everything is fresh and customizable, so it's made to order. So nothing is pre-made. And so you'll get when we step into the back of house, you'll see me make a mac, and you'll just see the quality of the ingredients going into the mac and the freshness of the macs when they're coming out of the ovens. And
you pretty much everything on your menu can be made gluten-free, with one exception.
That's right. So I'm a type 1 diabetic, and I have celiac. And so I take that very seriously. And so when we started testing and considering all the gluten-free options and everything, and the franchisors already had a great system for the gluten-free options, we just kind of expanded on that. And so 98% of the menu can be gluten-free. Again, everything is customizable and made to order. And so we take strong precautions in reducing cross-contamination. And so we have a separate part of the kitchen that has the gluten-free ingredients and the gluten-free pasta and everything. But we never say 100% because at the end of creating the mac, they are still baked in the same ovens that our traditional macs are made in. And so there could be molecules floating around in the ovens. And so if somebody has a serious allergy, celiac or gluten allergy, we ask them to, contact us, and we can walk through the entire step. And we can even take them into the kitchen and show them how we make our macs so they can see the process and see if that's something that they're willing to try. But thankfully, we haven't had any incidents, knock on wood. But like I said, we take strong precautions in making sure we don't have that.
That's great.
Absolutely.
So can you show us let's see what your dining room looks like?
So we're still open for online ordering, takeout, delivery. So we deliver through DoorDash and Grubhub. The restaurant's still open where you can come in, place an order, and then we'll make it right away for you. Or you can pre-order either through online or phone call, and then we'll either do a curbside pickup, or you can come into the restaurant and pick up. So, and I can walk through all the safety measures we have in place to make sure that our guests feel safe and our employees feel safe. So when you walk in, here's the counter. You can place your order, or here's where you come to pick up. This is our dining room. As you can see, it's roped off, so it's closed off. But if you're waiting in the dining room, we have tables separated by 6 feet and seats over here separated, so that way people feel comfortable being apart. But they're just waiting for their food. They're not actually dining in the restaurant. But let's say you have to sign for a credit card or whatnot. We have pens set up and cleaning supplies. So after each use, the pen gets rotated to the end, and then each of them gets cleaned so guests feel safe. All our employees, all our team members, and myself and all managers, we have masks on, we have gloves on, and then we also have timers set up in the kitchen that every 15 minutes, those buzzers go off and everybody has to stop what they're doing and go wash their hands. And so that's just a process to make sure that the team members are safe, but also our guests know that we're being safe when creating their masks.
That's really great to know, because takeout, I miss eating in restaurants. And so I've been getting takeout, and I'm really glad to see what's going on in the back of the house and what restaurants are doing to keep everyone safe.
Absolutely. I made a promise to my team members that, one, that none of them would be losing their jobs, and two, I would do everything in my power to make sure they're safe. So we've got N95 masks, we've got plenty of gloves, and so we're always just making sure everybody's staying safe. That's very important.
Nice, Harry. I think we're all thinking that too. So great. That sounds like you've really got a great system. So I'm wonder if other restaurants are doing the same, but glad to see that you are.
No, I was just going to say we're a small knit community, like all the restaurant owners and the managers. We all talk to each other, and I know everybody's doing their part in keeping their staff and their guests safe. So I think everybody's doing their part for sure.
Let's talk a little bit about the take and bake option that you have.
Sure. So as I mentioned before, all our masks are made to order. And so one of the, right after it's made, which you'll see in a few minutes, is we bake them in the restaurant. But there's an option called take and bake. We make it fresh for you, then we wrap it up. We give you directions on how to bake it at home. So these Macs are picked up by our guests, and then they can put them in the refrigerator at home. And then right before dinner, or let's say a couple days from now for lunch or dinner, they can bake them and have a fresh Mac at their meal. The Macs are good in the refrigerator for up to 7 days, and some guests do freeze them. We don't encourage that, but if they are freezing, that's okay. We just ask that they thaw them out and then follow our baking instructions. But we always push for them to be refrigerated up to a max of 7 days, because it is cheese and dairy, and so you don't want to go past that.
You know what's great about that option is that I don't want to go out too often. So I can get one of your meals freshly made and hot. And then at the same time, I can order a couple to have for the week. And that means me going out, less often.
Yeah, so a lot of guests are doing that where they have meal options at home. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. That's great, because I'm trying to obviously go out as least as possible. Absolutely. So Harry, why don't we step to the back of the house? You said you're going to be making a blazing buffalo chicken Mac for us?
Absolutely. So give me a few minutes. Let me just put on my safety equipment before I step out back, and then I'll be right back.
Sounds good.
So now we're in the back of the house, and this is where all the magic happens. So today I'm going to make a medium blazing buffalo chicken Mac. And so I've got my pasta, our homemade bechamel sauce, which is made throughout the day. All the ingredients were prepped fresh this morning, and they're going to continue to be prepped again right after our lunch rush. And so we've got some pasta, some cheese, added some chicken, and then I've got some buffalo sauce going in as well. And so now I'm gonna mix this thing. And so this is how every mac is made. And this is the regular line, and then we also have the gluten-free station in another part of the kitchen. Try to reduce that cross-contamination. As you can see, I'm wearing a mask, gloves, a hat, and this is how all employees are. It's part of their uniform right now with COVID, and we'll probably continue this after that as well. So now we're putting it in the oven-safe containers. And the best part about macaroni and cheese is just more cheese. So after it's put into the container, we're going to add some more cheddar cheese to this blazing buffalo mac. And the cheese really, while it's baking, keeps the moisture in the mac, so that way the mac doesn't dry out. A little bit of pepper jack, a little kick.
Harry, what about all the cheeses you're putting in?
So this is the chicken. It has American cheese, cheddar cheese, and then pepper jack cheese. And again, it's 19 different varieties of macs on our menu, and there's 19 different recipes and different varieties of cheeses. We actually have 11 cheeses on our menu. And then we have complimentary breadcrumbs or Ritz crackers. So on this, I'm going to put breadcrumbs. And then we're going to pop it in the oven. Oops. We're going to put that in there. And so while that's baking, I'm going to give you a little bit more tour of our kitchen back here. So as you can see, those are the ovens that are baking them. They're not your traditional oven that's at home. These are industrial grades. So something that's going to bake at home in 15 minutes, we're going to do it in about 2.5 minutes here. And then earlier I mentioned take and bakes. So I've got some take and bakes prepped right here. So these containers, again, these macs are made fresh. And then there's a container that's oven safe. So all you have to do is follow these directions, unwrap it, and then pop it into your oven at home. This is our garden veggie, and that's our classic all-American. And again, these are good in the refrigerator for up to 7 days. And so that's the regular line. Then over here, we have the gluten-free station. So same idea as before, but again, to try to reduce our cross-contamination, this is the salads, try to reduce that cross-contamination with gluten-free. We keep it purposely on separate.
So what are your hours?
So we're open at 11 o'clock every day and we close at 8 o'clock. One of the things that I did with the COVID pandemic is reduce the hours by 1 hour at closing time, just so our guests that were eating earlier in the day or picking up earlier in the day, and at the same time our employees are getting home safer earlier in the day. So if you take a look, there's about 20 seconds left on this map, and our ticket times are less than 6 minutes. And so from the time you place your order to the time that it comes out of the oven, it's less than 6 minutes. So it's a very quick turnaround.
I want one of those industrial ovens at home.
Yes, so do I. So
great.
this snack is ready to go. Take a look. So now this snack is coming out of the oven.
Oh man.
Oops, sorry. And now if we could grab a fork. And so I'll show you guys how amazing this looks. Nice, hot, and steamy. And it's just amazing. Beautiful. And that's how we make macaroni and cheese in Mr. Nice. Another thing we do is we pride ourselves in being perfect as possible. So this is the front line in terms of getting the perfect mac or food out of the restaurant. So if we're not proud of it here, we don't serve it. We put it back into the kitchen and say, okay, throw it out, make another one.
That looks so good. You know, one of the perks of back of the house is I always got to taste what was what was made. So the Zoom edition isn't as fun, but it's certainly showing what you guys are doing there to keep everyone safe and making delicious food for the community. It looks so good, Harry.
Thank you so much. Yes, it's definitely a passion of mine. I've been in the restaurant industry my whole life, and I grew up in New Hampshire. My wife and three kids live in Nashville, New Hampshire, so I wanted to stay local and do something local, and so that's how I found Mr. Max.
So you're open from 11 to 8 every day. You can order online or give you a call. You can have curbside pickup. You can have delivery. You can come in and order. And it's great to see how you're keeping the community and your employees safe. And I wish you well during this pandemic, and glad to see that you're open and successful, and really being able to keep those 28 employees on is pretty impressive.
Thank you so much, Patty. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure speaking to you and meeting you, and would love to work with you some more in the future.
I'll tell you what, when everything opens up again, who knows when that will be, I'll come in and do an in restaurant back of the house version.
Sounds good. I will provide you at least 10 different varieties of Max so you can sample them all.
Yeah, good job there, Harry. Thanks a lot again.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Patty. Appreciate everything. Thank you.
I'm Patty Stalker, and this was a Zoom edition of Back of the House with Mr. Max in Westford.